So we've got some questions then on mental preparation, and we'll go through the answers now. So first question, mental rehearsal, visualization and imagery are all stress management techniques. Identify and describe two other stress management techniques. So these three here, mental rehearsal, visualization, imagery, are all very similar. So there's only two others that we could have used, and they're both obviously in the answer, and that's deep breathing and positive self-talk. So 4 marks, so you can get 2 marks for each. And we obviously have to explain what they are. So for deep breathing, we get 1 mark. And if we said this involves the performer exaggerating their breaths in and out, I think if you'd said as well that deep breathing can slow down the heart rate, or you mentioned that it's a physical way of relaxing, or somatic, you might have said, any of those things alongside deep breathing are going to get you the marks there. For positive self-talk, you get one mark, obviously, for outlining this method, and then you need to say what it is. It involves the performer giving themselves instructions in their head, and you might have also linked that to helping them to remain focused. Next questions: which one of these is an example of extrinsic motivation? So personal achievement, praise, pride, and self-satisfaction. So A, C, and D all link more to that intrinsic motivation, where we're sort of motivated by ourselves in terms of we want to achieve pride and self-satisfaction. So the only extrinsic motivation here is praise that might come from a coach or the audience or a teacher or a friend. So the answer would be B, praise. Which one of these is an example of indirect aggression? The answer is going to be D, a tennis player hitting a shot with power, because indirect aggression, if we remember, is not having physical contact with another person, but instead it's contact with an object, taking our anger or our aggression out on an object. In this case, it would be the tennis ball. So the others, a boxer punching an opponent, a judo performer throwing in an opponent, a rugby union player making a high tackle. They're all acts of direct aggression because they involve physical contact with another person. Which one of these activities is most suited to an introvert? The answer is going to be C, canoeing. Hopefully that's a nice, easy one, because the other three sports are all team sports, whereas canoeing's the only individual sport. So that's a giveaway straight away that introverts are going to enjoy more individual sports. In 2015, Manchester City footballer Jill Scott was sent off for an aggressive act in a game against Arsenal ladies. Explain the difference between direct aggression and indirect aggression in physical activity in sport. So 2 marks, so we have to explain each one. Direct aggression is aimed directly at other players, or you might have said physical contact with other players, whereas indirect aggression is aimed at an object in order to gain an advantage, or you could have said indirect aggression does not involve physical contact with others, it involves contact with an object. And finally, describe the relationship between arousal and performance as shown in the inverted U theory. 2 marks only for this one. So as arousal level increases, so does the level of performance. That's an important part of the theory, until it reaches an optimum point. We could have actually said the optimal point of arousal is reached. And then for a final possible mark is once past this optimal point, performance decreases as they have become over aroused, and we could link that to anxiety as well. So if you put 2 of those three possible marks, then you'll get the marks for that question. And there is one more question. Explain what sports would suit the following personality types. And we've got introvert and extrovert, and we must use examples in our answer. So introverts tend to play sports, we could have said, that require concentration or precision, fine skills, we could have mentioned. They prefer sports where low levels of arousal are required, and we could have linked to a sport such as archery. We could have said golf. We could have said snooker. An individual sport which requires concentration and precision is always going to be a good example. Extroverts tend to play or do sports that are fast-paced. Concentration may be lower. They may need to use gross skills and large movements. And an example could be, for example, rugby league's a good example. It's good to use a contact sport, perhaps an example, but you could have said rugby union, obviously. Football would be okay. Netball would be okay. We're looking for a team sport.